How we doing this evening, folks? How we doing this evening? I decided to come on and do a small little personal, my own little podcast on Bitcoin, which reminds me I need to update some stuff over there, um, and just kind of give you my take on this last 48 hours. Um, when it comes to Bitcoin, big advocate for it. Yes, there's issues. I mean, there's issues with a lot of stuff out there. Still doesn't mean it's good. Still doesn't mean it can't be something that in the future works. When it comes to Bitcoin, it has people say no intrinsic value. Yes and no, but to me, the U.S. dollar doesn't have intrinsic value. For the most part, silver doesn't have intrinsic value. It has more industrial value than it does intrinsic. Same way with gold. Any of the precious metals, for some reason, we give intrinsic value to these things, and I really don't actually see that at all in any of it. Um, I do hold some gold. I hold some silver. I hold some investments. I hold some Bitcoin. I hold a couple other cryptocurrencies. Um, I'm not going to go into all that and everything. But it really does irk me when people come out, they're haters. They have been haters for a long time. Want to call it a Ponzi scheme. Let's see if I think I said it the best on a little rant on Facebook here. Let me go here. I got to change some updates here that I forgot to do. Um, oh, let's go back. And I basically laid it out with some charts, but I went on and really lengthy Facebook post. But it said headlines: Bitcoin crash, Bitcoin Ponzi, Bitcoin's dead. Last 48 hours been a great laugh over what the haters are shouting to the masses. Well, my miners are still going strong, which means the cost I have to run my miners, 98% of which is electrical cost, and I do take time every day to monitor and to every month or so to shut down and clean the computer hardware because computers run better when they're maintained and cleaned. Um, so my return is still positive, or I'd shut them down. Bitcoin's not crashing. It's finally correcting itself after a large, long run up for from a year ago. I mean, if you bought Bitcoin a year ago, January 17th, 2017, you'd still be up 1,100% even after this supposed crash. You'd still be up 1,100%. Now, how can it be a crash if a year ago's price compared to the current price of said crash is still 1,100% up? Yeah, it might have taken 45% off of what the $19,000 high Bitcoin was, but still. Um, and that's the thing people don't understand. A true free market has booms and busts like this. I mean, this is just the nature of the beast of a truly free market. You're gonna have those overshoots up. You're gonna have those overshoots down, but it comes back to the equilibrium every time, and it'll overshoot and then undershoot and then overshoot and then undershoot and then overshoot and then undershoot. Just happens. Free market, my friends. Um, I do put in a nice little post here though. I've said it already once this year, even though we're only 2 weeks into 2018. 2018 will be the .com style burst in cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies, not just Bitcoin, not just Ethereum, not just Litecoin, not just Dogecoin, Dash, Sex Coin. Yes, there's a Sex Coin, folks. You can buy porn on the internet with Sex Coin. Um, all these other Monero, shit, there's 1,000+ different cryptocurrencies out there, and there's new people trying to scam their way in with ICOs every single day. Um, there will be this .com style crash because of these ICOs, these initial coin offerings from people that are trying to scam money out of the system, or trying to get people to, oh, back my coin because my coin's gonna do this. Um, they're copied. There's no real backing whatsoever to them, and people try, and they're getting the quick buck makers. They're getting the ones that, oh, I want to make a quick buck just like everybody else. Well, if you've been in cryptocurrencies long enough, um, sorry folks, I'm just updating some information. Just updating some information here. Yeah. So we've been, I've been in it for a while. I've been mining for 4 or 5+ years now. Um, I've invested some of my own money, and every month I invest more because I pay for the electricity to keep these computers running. Um, Part of the security of what has become the Bitcoin network. Um, People talk about forks, they talk about this. Well, Bitcoin forks. Well, yeah, but I don't support those forks. Yes, I got the equivalent of Bitcoin in whatever Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, SegWit 2x, which is still up in the air and like number 1100 and some on the list of cryptocurrencies. I do own what I had in Bitcoin in those coins because of the fork. I automatically received a wallet on the new chain at the point of the fork. Now, do I run mining software, and do I secure the network with my equipment? Nope. I only mine and secure networks for Bitcoin and Zcash. I did Litecoin here and there, and it really electricity use, hardware costs, and what I got out of it, it wasn't feasible. I was losing more money than I was making. So just like my miners are still running, obviously my my profit is still there for what I pay for to what I get. I figured it out. It's just like a business. You got to figure out in a business, here's my cost, here's my return. Is it cost effective for me to keep going, me to keep running the business as said? Well, there is one online entity here that, I mean, his page just irks me by what he does, um, by what he talks about, and for the fact that he doesn't know any of the actual background, doesn't understand technology, doesn't understand um, what's really going on. Now, I'm gonna play his audio of his video he just said, and we're gonna start and stop this, and copyright schmoppyright. Fuck this guy, because I'm using his words as it. His channel is called Truth Never Told. Frankly, because he never tells the truth. Um, in my opinion, he really doesn't know what he's talking about. He tries to compare Bitcoin, saying it has no intrinsic value. Well, it has intrinsic value because I can trade it around the world nearly instantly. Yeah, transactions are getting slow in the Bitcoin network, but still, a couple hours is better than a couple days. The fees are a little high, yes. I think miners and those that are running the Bitcoin network need to pull themselves together here and make a consensus where the fees are lowered. I mean, the thing is, and the reason the fees are so high is the fees are paid in Bitcoin. So this many Bitcoin is what pays the transaction fee. Well, back when Bitcoin was $100, $200, $300, $1,000, this percentage of the Bitcoin value was only penny, if that, 2 cents, something like that. But as the price rose, the amount of Bitcoin per transaction did not. So that penny that was being charged for a transaction, and it was like 0.00001 of a Bitcoin, or 0.00001 of a Bitcoin, or 5 zeros and a 5, or anything like that, has now become in value worth $15, worth $16. So 0.0001 of a Bitcoin, or 1/10,000th, yeah, 1/10,000th of a Bitcoin is worth $15 now. Back then, it was worth a penny or less. So this is why the fees are so high, because the amount of Bitcoin being required to send a transaction hasn't changed as the price spiked. I mean, the price of Bitcoin goes back down to $1,000, $2,000. Transaction fees are back down to 2 cents, 3 cents. So that's the only reason why the transaction fees has gotten so high, is because nothing's been done about the requirement of the required Bitcoin to send a transaction since this all started. Now, he brings up some other points, and like I said, we're going to play this here, and I'm going to break it down, and I'm going to call him out, because he does advertise a silver gold buy, because he's a big silver nut. It's like I said, I own silver. I buy it at a certain price. I sell it at a certain price. I have my buy range and I have my sell range, and I take physical silver. I don't buy paper IOUs, or you own this much silver because this paper says it, because right now in the markets, and I think it's a little less than this now. I haven't actually looked at this, even though I do pay attention to the dollar to silver ratio and the dollar to gold ratio when it comes to what I believe the actual value of the metals in any currency, fiat, Bitcoin, whatever, is. The silver to paper contracts at one time, and I think it's still close, is 1 to 100. So for every 1 ounce of silver physical that's out there, there's 100 contracts that say 100 different people, or 100 different holders of these contracts own an ounce of silver. How the fuck's that happen? How the fuck can 100 people claim right to the same physical ounce? It's not possible. I'm talking about a Ponzi scheme. Sure sounds like a fucking Ponzi scheme to me, where if everybody decided to cash in on their paper holdings, we'd be short a lot of fucking silver. A hell of a lot more than what's out there. So when I hear somebody try to say silver and gold are it, and Bitcoin's just a Ponzi and it's gonna go to nothing, and it's a scam, and this last 48 hours just proves it, because Bitcoin crashed because it went down 45. Fuck, it's up 1100% still for the last year. Still seems like it's up. Now, yeah, over the last let's go right here and I'll give you an idea. Over the last day, well, here we'll do hour first. Over the last hour, we're actually back up. Oh no, we're down 0.75% or $90 in the last just 1 hour. This is real time too. In the last day, we're up 0.5% at $63. In the last week, we're down 20% or $2,639. In the last month, we're down 40% or a little over $7,500. In the last year, we're up 1,160% or $10,366. And all time, they don't give a percentage, because if you would have gone back in 2013 and bought Bitcoin, you would have paid $13.33, and it's at 11,260. But folks, it's a Ponzi scheme. It's a Ponzi scheme because this guy on Truth Never Told, because again, he doesn't tell the truth, thinks that it's a bubble, that it's a Ponzi scheme, and he obviously doesn't know the understanding of a Ponzi scheme. Ponzi scheme requires new people all the time to feed into the bottom to support the top. I don't give a shit if you use Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, trade Bitcoin, or don't want to do it. Don't care. Don't need you. Because guess what? Bitcoin doesn't operate that way. Now, yes, more people that's using and buying and trading in what's called money velocity does play a part, just like with the U.S. fiat dollar or the euro or the Japanese yen or any of these other paper, more truthfully Ponzi schemish style setups where they could dilute the system and add more money to make your money less every single year, like they want to with the 2% inflation. That's more of a Ponzi scheme, but again, Ponzi, you first are feeding a top central entity, and Bitcoin doesn't have that. We have a lot of big top players, those 5-6 years ago, that started with this and are still in it, are still mining, and are still doing this and everything. But we don't require more and more people to adopt it and to run with it and to use it, because one, there's enough right now that we can deal with the money velocity, and two, that blows the Ponzi scheme right out of the water, because it can't be a Ponzi scheme if it doesn't require new players. Ponzi scheme, gotta have the new players, gotta have the money coming in for the money being siphoned off the top. See what I'm saying? There's a market capital behind it, because obviously this guy on I Never Tell the Truth, I mean Truth Never Told, doesn't understand the technology, and he tries to talk about the algorithms and everything else, but he doesn't understand what Bitcoin did. Bitcoin could go to zero. The US dollar could go to zero. The euro could go to zero. Fucking gold and silver could go to zero. everybody decided it's worthless, that it has no value at all. Well, the miners automatically give Bitcoin value because we plug in money to the ecosystem every single day. It takes a lot of electricity to run this, but it also takes a lot of electricity to run. And again, he brings this up, and we're going to go back to this when I play this video here. He does bring up the fact that that's interesting. Does bring up the fact that he brings up the stock market crashing and all this being part of it and everything. But again, he doesn't understand the underlying technology that Bitcoin has brought and put out there from the beginning. Bitcoin is, and this is why I got into it after, it took me months of reading and wrapping my head around it and understanding and going aha moments with this technology, that for the first time in 2009, we have created an uncopyable digital file. Let that sink in for a second, folks. We have created an uncopyable digital file. Great. That is an amazing thing to do, because up until that point, everything digital could be copied. Everything. See this in the music industry. Once it's out there, copy away and share, no profit made. But now I have a file. It doesn't care if it represents dollars in a market, or euros, or stock in a company, or anything like that. We've created a digital file that now can't be copied, can't be changed, can't be manipulated. And that is a value to Bitcoin. That is what the true value of Bitcoin has become. So just the fact that we have that now, and that's been up there to be able to be passed on, that's a true value. Now, I'm not saying, because people are gonna rant on this one, that, well, you can copy it. You can hack it. You can steal it. You can still do that with it. You can still lose it and it'd be never there anymore, and there is no other copy to it. That all is still possible, but the file itself can't be duplicated. Somebody can steal it, somebody can use it, somebody can manipulate it. Not manipulate it, but take it and use it for themselves. That can still be taken care of. You can't duplicate it. You can't create another copy of it. It is what it is, and that's it. Boy, does that change the digital revolution game. So, enough with my rant. I'm going to take a small break here, get some stuff in line, and we're going to come back. I'm going to play a couple little snippets from this guy's talking, and just prove he doesn't know what's going on. We'll talk about his silver company, because he on a comment I made once on his videos, he did say, well, I do a couple million a day in transactions and everything. I'm like, well, you sell silver at 25% over spot, and I guarantee you, for me to settle on a purchase, it'll take more than a couple hours. Woohoo. Silver's got it made. Better go buy yourself some silver. Be right back, folks.